Welcome to training on the FLR5-400 communication menu options. Now, let's get started on accessing the available menu items. To do this, press and hold both the Alt and Edit keys until the display is blank and the menu items start to appear. From there, use the arrow keys to cycle through the available menu items. These include Content, Dimming, Cycling, Configure, and Diagnostics. Once knowing what menu item you are wanting to change or edit, press the green check mark on the key fob to see its submenus. While in that submenu, you can press the red X to return to the previous menu at any time, starting with the Content menu. You will want to use this menu to change the content and style settings for individual price or message displays. Each configured display will be highlighted with an LED border. Use the arrow keys to select a display, and then press the checkmark key to enter the Mode menu. Once in the Mode menu, you can now designate whether the display will show numeric prices or message text. By using the plus or minus keys to select either price or message and then pressing the checkmark key. Make note that if the display is configured for more than one frame, the frame number shows for 2 seconds. You can also assign unique price numbers or captions for up to 4 display frames in this menu. A price number may be for a single fuel grade or a combination of a fuel grade and a payment method. To set this up, use the plus and minus keys to select the price number 1 through 12 for a price display, or the desired caption, such as cash, credit, etc., for a message display. Once set, press the checkmark key. Make note that if the display is configured for more than one frame, you will want to repeat these steps until a price number or message text is assigned for every frame. The next item in the menu is the format. This is only available for price. Here, you can use the plus and minus keys to change the decimal location and 9/10 format. Once set as wanted, then press the checkmark key to accept. Make note that the 9/10 format is only visible with the following decimal location. Sometimes you may need to set a specific font. This is also available only for price. To do this, use the plus and minus keys to preview the available fonts 1 through 5. Once finding the correct font, press the checkmark key to accept it. The font number, shown as FNT, displays momentarily when switching between fonts. Make note that prices $10 and higher are not affected by the selected font. Now moving on to the dimming menu. Use this to configure display dimming or brightness levels. You will use the arrow keys to select between auto and manual dimming modes, and then press the checkmark key to accept. For the auto only, you will see a min or a max value. Use the arrow keys to set the min and the max value intensity from 3 to 100%, and then press the checkmark key to accept. For the manual only, you will see level. Use the arrow keys to change the brightness level from 3 to 100%, and then press the checkmark key to accept. Now we are at the cycling menu. This will allow you to set the number of frames and hold times if using more than one frame. First, the default number of frames is 1, so if a single display line will only ever show one price, you may skip this setting. Each frame corresponds to a message or a caption, which could be a payment method for a given fuel grade, a product or product grade, a loyalty or rewards program discount, etc. The total number of frames should always match the number of separate messages to be displayed. If more than one price is to be shown on a single display line, set the number of frames to match. To do this, use the plus and minus keys to select the number of frames to display, up to 4, and then press the checkmark key to accept. Once setting the number of frames, you can then set the hold times between frames by using the plus and minus keys to cycle through the hold time in seconds from 1 to 9 for each separate frame. Once set, press the checkmark key to accept. It is important to note that all frames will have one hold time. These can't be changed individually. Next up is the Configure menu. Every module is configured for a specific location within the display prior to leaving the factory. You can use this menu when reconfiguring the module to be relocated within a display or when replacing a module with a different one if necessary. To do this, press the checkmark key to enter display configuration, and an LED border on the first display will show the first available display size for that module type. Use the arrow keys to cycle through the available display sizes. When the border matches your display size, press the checkmark key to accept. The border will then move to the next display if it exists, or exit. The last menu item is the Diagnostics. This menu provides a variety of real-time diagnostic information to help troubleshoot display issues. After entering a submenu, use the arrow keys to quickly move back and forth through the list. This menu will show the hardware version of each module, the software version installed on each module, the current font version installed on each module, the temperature in degrees Celsius for each module. The displays will show the LED borders around each display as it was configured. You can view the addressing of each module within its display or the addressing of each module within the entire system. The role, which will show the hierarchy of the display control. Each module will display a G for grandparent, P for parent, or C for child. The content will view the content type assigned to each display as configured. The signal direction will view the signal routing, and this can be used to detect incorrect or input-output connections. Calibration is typically needed when a new module is put into an older display to match other modules around it. And lastly, make note that under the Diagnostics menu there is an Errors option. This is reserved for future display diagnostic functions and test patterns. And that wraps up the menu items within the FLR5-400 communication. For additional resources, please reference daktronics.com/support.